More developments today on Roman Abramovich and Chelsea. The Premier League released this statement following the imposition of sanctions by the UK government. The Premier League board has disqualified Roman Abramovich as director of Chelsea Football Club. The board's decision does not impact on the club's ability to train and play its fixtures as set out under the terms of a licence issued by the government, which expires on the 31st of May 2022. Mark Ogden back with us. What does this mean?
Well, if this had happened a week ago, it would have been probably the biggest story of the season that the Premier League had suspended or expelled, I guess, Roman Abramovich as the Chelsea director. But the fact that the government have taken action on Abramovich earlier this week by sanctioning him and freezing his assets means that this is just sort of like a box-ticking exercise by the Premier League, just a formality that they had to go through. But it means nothing really, in the sense that the government have already taken the big sanction of freezing his assets and freezing Chelsea's assets. So it doesn't really mean anything that we already know.
Chelsea in action against Newcastle, of course, on Sunday. Mark, I know it's a game that you're going to. What are we going to see in the stands with regards to fans? Because we know that only season ticket holders can go. Or is it people who've bought tickets already before these sanctions were introduced? They can go as well?
Yeah, I think this could be the last time we see Stamford Bridge full this season, because the vast majority of tickets would have been sold before the sanctions were imposed on Thursday. So I think Stamford Bridge will be full. It'll be quite an unusual situation though, because obviously the club shop will be closed, so there'll be no fans be able to buy shirts or anything like that. We don't quite know yet if Chelsea will be able to play with the logo on their shirts, because 3 have cancelled the sponsorship. But apparently Chelsea haven't been able to find a way to get some shirts without a logo on it, and they can't cover it up or put some fabric on it because the shirts will be too heavy. So little logistical problems like that, and they can't even pay anybody to do it. So it's going to be a very strange atmosphere. They have been given permission by the UK government today to spend £900,000 on getting the game on in terms of policing, stewarding, catering. It was £500,000, but they've had that limit lifted. But in terms of the big one, the £20,000 for away day travel, that stayed the same. So Chelsea are very keen to persuade the government that they need to be more relaxing the measures a little bit to help them run like a football club. But the reality is, the government are saying that, look, this isn't our problem, this is your problem. It's a problem caused by the owner that has been sanctioned and suspended. So it's not really in our interest to make it easy for you, because they've got many bigger issues at play, like what's happening in Ukraine. So I think Chelsea are going to be limping along now for the next 2 or 3 months, or until they get sold.
What are you most intrigued about going to this game, Mark?
I just think the atmosphere around the ground. I mean, there's quite a lot of graffiti around Stamford Bridge right now, protesting against the treatment of Chelsea, which is very obviously very partisan. Fans are always going to back their club. But I'd be interested to see if the Chelsea fans once again sing Roman Abramovich's name, despite being told not to by many people. Thomas Tuchel, the coach, has made it clear that he doesn't want this kind of thing happening. So I think the reaction of the Chelsea supporters will be interesting as to whether they accept what's happened is part of a bigger picture, or whether they will just be very much inward looking and think that their club is being picked on, which it isn't. It's a reality of life that the political situation has led to their owner, who's owned the club for 19 years, bankrolled them to such big success, is deemed no longer an appropriate person to own a football club. So I want to see what their reaction is and how they perceive it. Will there be protests against the government? Who knows?
Thank you very much for watching ESPN FC on YouTube. For more highlights, analysis and exclusive content, be sure to subscribe.